Well, here we are, Fred. We're at the nexus of realities.
Wow, Stan, thanks for giving me a lift. I never would have been able to get all the way over here without your help.
It's my pleasure to help one of my kids. But you are the last one I must help, Fred. My time has come.
Yeah, I know, Stan. I've been mentally preparing myself a long time for this, and yet it's still gonna hurt.
I'm sorry, Fred, but this is my last stop, and it's a one-way ticket. I'm gonna go drinking with Stephen Hillenberg and Penny Marshall. We're gonna get fucking plastered, and we're gonna get laid. I'm gonna get laid by my wife, of course, because she's gonna be there too, and she's gonna bring the whipped cream.
Oh, that man was a living legend. Oh, but I can't dwell on the loss. I've got a job to do here. I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a purpose. Now, which one of these universes is the one that has the guy who I'm supposed to talk to? What is the meaning of this? I'm supposed to be talking to Kingpin, not Professor Pig.
No, I am not a professor. I am a king. Well, not literally a king. My title of king is strictly metaphorical. The name is KingPig.
KingPig instead of Kingpin? Oh, I get it. You're from Spider-Ham's universe.
Yes, I am from Earth 8311. Yes, 8311 is where I am from, also known as Larval Earth. But that is an unofficial title.
Yeah, it's weird that you're called Larval Earth, considering that you're all pigs over there.
Hey, that is very rude of you. You should be ashamed of yourself for making such a wide assumption. Just because I am a pig and Spider-Ham is a pig does not mean that everybody is a pig. There is a multitude of different variety of animals in that universe, okay? You don't have just pigs, you also got J. Jonah Jackal, and you got Iron Mouse, and you got Captain America Cat, and you got Hulk Bunny, and you got Goose Rider, and you got Galactaladapus, and you got Dr. Doom, and you got Black Panda, and you also got Pigeon, which is vision as a pigeon. Pigeon.
Ooh, don't tell me what the name of your Nick Fury is. Let me guess. Nick Fury?
Yeah, his name is Nick Fury. Why would that be funny?
Oh, no reason. So tell me, Mr. KingPig, are you the one that was involved in the huge multi-universal event that has just recently occurred?
Sorry to disappoint you, but no, I am not the kingpin who was involved in that. I'm afraid you're gonna have to ask the ultimate kingpin.
I already tried to check him, and he told me that he's not the actual ultimate Kingpin. Apparently, the Kingpin that actually started this whole thing is from a universe that's only based on the ultimate universe. It's not the actual ultimate universe. It's just based off of it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Blob, but still, you got the wrong Kingpin, so you're gonna have to keep looking.
Aw, can't you give me a break? I just lost my dad.
Ah, come on, KingPig. You gotta cut the guy some slack. See? He just lost his father. See? Yeah.
Kingpin Noir?
Yeah. I'm Kingpin Noir. See? Yeah. Oh, come on. This Kingpin is just as oblivious as I am to the whole situation. Now hold on, see? In my universe, my Spider-Man is more sociable than your Spider-Man, see? He's a lot more talkative, if you get my drift. And he told me everything, see? Yeah. That's impossible. Your Spider-Man is supposed to be dark and brooding. He has no time to be all talkative. Not like my Spider-Man. My Spider-Man is a cartoon character. Yeah, sweetheart, you see, my Spider-Man had more time to be the comic relief than your Spider-Man. Even though yours is supposed to be the funny one, there was more comedy coming out of my Spider-Man, what with his eccentricness, that caused him to overshadow your Spider-Man. See? Yeah. Then what was the point of my Spider-Man? There was completely no point, see? Yeah.
No, hold on, guys. Maybe both of your Spider-Men were meant to be the comic relief, just in different ways. What if the noir Spider-Man was funny in an ironic way, while the cartoon pig Spider-Man was funny in the non-ironic way?
Yeah, I guess I'm okay with that. But why do either of our Spider-Mans have to be just comic relief? Can't they be major characters who are actually important to the story? Maybe have a chance to flesh them out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I kept hearing about this event being hyped up, I was promised a lot of involvement from you guys' Spider-Mans. Both of your Spider-Mans. It was supposed to be a big deal how this was about a whole multiverse, and yet it's kind of pushed to the sidelines, isn't it, Mr. Noir Kingpin?
Yeah, you're right on the money, see? Yeah. The whole Spider-Verse nonsense was only half of the story, see? And the other half was dedicated to the origin story of Miles Morales, see? Yeah.
Really? They focused on the Miles Morales story? I thought that's what was gonna be shafted.
Nah. They decided to adapt both storylines instead of just picking one and going with it. See? Nah.
That's weird. That's kind of what I wanted from the get-go. I wanted it to all be just about him. I was aware of the storylines where he meets other Spider-Men, specifically just Peter Parker, you know, the one that's alive, not the one from his universe that's dead. I knew that he would meet that Peter Parker, the Earth 616 Parker, but I had no interest in seeing that. I just wanted complete and utter focus on Miles and only Miles. All of his mythology, you know, you got your Prowler, and you got your this, and you got your that, and you got all of that. Granted, it didn't have to all be him, because what I thought was that what they should do is that they should bring in some non-Miles stuff, some other spider lore that hasn't been adapted yet, like, let's say, Hammerhead and Tombstone, and maybe later down the line, like Morlun and Ezekiel, good old Ezekiel. You do all that stuff, but you do it with Miles. You have that be Miles's stuff to deal with, because there's just so much Spider-Man lore that hasn't been adapted yet. So why not give it to Miles instead? Because you've already got Peter Parker doing his thing in the MCU, and yeah, I know eventually the MCU is probably gonna do Miles. They already name-dropped him. Well, not the actual name, but you know what I'm saying, like, oh, I'm the uncle of Miles Morales, but I'm not gonna say that I'm the uncle of Miles Morales, but I'm definitely gonna say that I have a nephew, wink wink, nudge nudge, wink wink. So that's what I wanted, was just complete and utter focus on Miles, and that was it.
So then, why are you disappointed that we didn't get as much Spider-Vice as we could have?
Well, it's because once I got the impression that this was gonna be about the Spider-Verse, I just assumed that meant it would be less about Miles's origin. Like he was already gonna be Spider-Man already, and I just assumed that, okay, so he's already Spider-Man and he's just gonna deal with this storyline. Alright, so I adjusted to it, I wasn't gonna be a bitch about it, I was gonna be like, okay, I guess this is what's gonna happen now. So I was actually looking forward to it because I spent so much time being prepared for that. And this is like one of the most common tropes that you do with the superhero concept, is the big multiversal storyline. And yet we've never seen that yet on the big screen. And so when we finally did do it, it's more of a subplot? Okay.
Now hold on there, Blob, see? Nah, you're treating this like it's a minor detail, but it's still a major plot line, see? Nah, it's just not as big as we thought, see? Nah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I suppose there are gonna be more chances to flesh this out in sequels.
But you could have saved this concept for a sequel. You didn't have to do it right here, considering that there was a lot of stuff that they had to trim down to make room for this multiverse storyline.
Really? Even though it doesn't seem to take that much up, you had to trim other parts down. Which parts?
Yeah, I think he's talking about Prowler, see? Yeah, the whole Prowler storyline. That was trimmed down real nice, you see? It was trimmed down to the point where you would forget that Prowler was even in the thing, see? Yeah.
Really? That's shocking. The Prowler is supposed to play a huge role in the origin of Miles.
Yeah, well, he still gets his complete story arc, see? It's just that it's the Cliff Notes version, see? Yeah, we hit all of the beats, it's just that the beats are really fast, see? Yeah, it's condensed, see?
Oh, they condense it down. I see. They simplify it. But he's still a bad guy, right? And he still gets tragically murdered, right?
Yeah, that's all still intact, see? Yeah, it's just that the movie deals with it so briefly, see? To the point where it's not really that sad because we barely had time with the guy, see? Yeah.
Oh, that's a damn shame. Once again, Cottonmouth gets shafted. First, he was killed before his time in Luke Cage, and now the same thing has happened all over again when he became the Prowler.
It's alright. even though the time we spent with him alive was really, really brief, I still think it was enough to make us care for him. He was very supportive with Miles's endeavors to be artistic.
Miles wanted to be autistic?
Cuss this confounded accent. I meant to say autistic.
Oh, you mean artistic. Okay, I get it. Artistic. Okay, I see. He was very supportive with Miles's art. I get you now. Maybe that should have been one of the things that they should have stretched out to another movie, spent some more time on that. You mean to tell me that the multiverse subplot wasn't enough for this movie, and yet it seemed like it was too much for us to have enough time for the Prowler?
Nah, I think what I'm trying to say here, see, is that there was a couple of issues with the balancing, see? It's a very complicated balancing act that they were trying to do here, and they were only slightly successful, see? But there still could have been more improvements, see, regarding the balancing act, see? Nah.
But what was it good at balancing? What were the positives with the balance?
Even though this made it seem like we were not going to get enough of our main Spider-Man, Miles, he wound up being the Spider-Man that was the most likable, see? And he was the one that we knew the most about.
Oh, that's good to know. So even though we've got all of these other Spider-Mans, what was important, to me anyway, was that we focus solely on Miles. Just focus right on him. You can have all these other Spoodermen if you want, but as long as he doesn't get shafted in his own movie. Then I gotta say, I am satisfied, warts and all, I am satisfied. It overcomes the problems, it really does.
Really? You're satisfied, even though I was the one who got shafted?
Oh my god, it's another Kingpin! Well, which universe are you from?
I'm not Kingpin, I'm Tombstone.
Are you sure? You look more like Tobias Whale, with a wig on.
Well, it's not my fault that Hollywood decided that there was only one albino African American who could play both albino African American supervillains.
Well, apparently I think that seems to be the case, Mr. Conundrum. But why are you here? You're not a Kingpin.
Because I'm here to address a horrible crime. You were talking about the balance of things. Well, guess what? The balance is tipped. My role was reduced heavily to the point where I was just merely a henchman of Kingpin. Why would you even get Conundrum if he's just gonna say one line of dialogue?
That is sort of what you're there to do, is just look intimidating and ugly as a thug for Spider-Man to beat up. But don't worry, someday you'll get your day, Tobias Stone. You'll get your day, Tobias Stone. You'll have your day.
Well, until that day comes, I'm gonna go back to my universe and hang out with Dr. Octopus.
Oh, Dr. Octopus, huh? Well, could you do me a favor and congratulate her for me? She finally got the operation, and she can finally be herself now.
Too bad, because she got hit by a bus and she might be dead.
Oh, that's really sad. Right after the successful operation. That's just tragic. Well, you know what, guys? I think I'm satisfied. I am satisfied with this here interview. I am satisfied. We are good to go, guys. We're good to go.
Oh! Wait, just 1 second right there. You are not done just quite yet. You still have to deal with me. Oh!
Oh, great. Not another Kingpin. This one doesn't even have the decency of wearing clothes.
Now wait just 1 minute here, see? Aren't you the Kingpin from the manga universe?
Yes, it is I, Manga Kingpin. I am the Kingpin from the universe in which everything is a manga.
Wait. This Spider-Verse incident didn't have anything to do with your universe.
Well, that is where you are wrong, because you see, if the manga-verse were ever adapted onto screen, then it would technically not be a manga anymore, because a manga has to be a comic book. And so if it is a animated manga, then that means that it is anime! Yes, anime! It will no longer be a manga universe, it will be an anime universe. And since one of the universes involved with this event was an anime universe, then that means it is probably my universe. Yes, Penny Parker is my Spider-Man.
Nah, I prefer not to get into the whole logistics of that, considering that Mangaverse already has a Spider-Man that has nothing to do with Penny Parker.
Yes, let's not talk about this anymore. Let's just accept that this is how things are now.
Wow, you took way too long to explain that. Heh, I think you really are an anime. But why are you here? The interview is over.
It's not over until I say it's over. Why don't you address the fact that Moreland and his whole family of spider vampires were not involved in this storyline?
Oh yeah, the original Spider-Verse villains. Huh, not even so much as a reference.
Nope, there was no hint of their existence.
Maybe that means that those guys are being saved for a sequel.
Yeah, well, considering what they did to my universe, I guess it wouldn't be too out of the realm of possibility for them to be taken down a notch in regards to their violent nature.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Those inheriators have to eat the Spidermen in order to gain their powers. And we don't want to make this a horror thing. Let's save that for those emo live-action movies, like a Morbius and Craven the Punter.
This is exactly why I wanted to bring this up, because I wanted to celebrate the fact that us Kingpins were the ones who were victorious. We were the ones that got to have full center instead of just being a minor detail in the whole thick of it.
Oh yeah. Technically, Kingpin really was the one who started this whole ball rolling in the comic books, right guys?
Yes. So during this whole time, everyone was assuming that we Kingpins were stealing the spotlight away from the inheriators, when in reality, we were just reclaiming our birthright.
Oh, so you just came here to make that proclamation, huh?
No, that is not my only purpose. I am also here on behalf of all of those less lucky Kingpins who did not get their say.
It's whatever. My universe was barely represented too. It was just to show how endless this universe was. So vast that literally anything could be out there. Even a world full of cartoon characters.
And also a world where the whole universe is a specific film genre, see? Yeah.
But wait just 1 minute. If that was the only purpose for our universes popping up briefly, then wouldn't it have been a better job to show even more universes than that?
Yeah, he does have a point there, see? Because of the low number of spider people, everybody was assuming that that would mean that a whole huge cavalry of spider people were being saved for the climax. See? Yeah.
Yes. And the actual climax wound up being the opposite, where instead of getting a whole lot more spider people, we just got less. Because they said, "Sayonara, we're all going home."
Now hold on, guys. Apparently, there's a whole bunch of spin-offs and sequels that are being planned. This is gonna be milked bone dry. Granted, right now, the horse is healthy and alive, but pretty soon, it might be beaten to death and then continue to be bludgeoned for a very long time. But before that happens, I'm perfectly fine with knowing that there is still more to do with this concept. What they did is they just teased us with the concept. They didn't blue balls us because it was still really satisfying. I mean, wasn't it a noir Kingpin? Wasn't it?
I suppose that the climax was basically what was going on in the Doctor Strange movie, except times bajillion. So I suppose you're right. We did have a satisfying amount for the time being. But if they blue balls us in the sequel, then that's gonna make this look bad in hindsight. See? Yeah.
And that's why there's not that many Kingpins in this video. Just like they had to use their Spider-Men sparingly, less is more, we're gonna have to do the same. Use the Kingpins sparingly. That's why I'm only interviewing you three. No more, no less.
But wait just 1 minute. Isn't there something we can do about all of those other Kingpins? Those Spider-Men found a way to include a whole bunch of more Spider-Man during the credits, so why don't we do that? Let's give some honorable mentions to those other Kingpins.
Okay, fine.
Well, I guess it's time for us to exit stage left.
Now he's ripping off the wrong cartoon character. I ought to make him say hello to my little cube.
Whoa! They told me I was more of a business suit type of guy. Well, I'll show them. I'll show them all. Yar, avast me hearties. No one has a bigger booty than I. Do 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 do. Brains, brains, brains. Riddle me this, Dark Claw. What is red, blue, and webbed all over? Trick question. It's my ass. How dare they would leave me, of all of the Kingpins, out of this video? I am arguably the most important of the Kingpins. Well, even though no one asked for my input, I will give it anyway. It is time for me to evaluate this new Kingpin. How dare he be the one who actually gets to be on the big screen? while I am relegated to the small one. But I must refrain from my bias and keep this strictly objective. Even though this new Kingpin was restrained by a PG rating, it did not keep him from doing the representation of Kingpins right. Granted, there was no involvement of blood with a decapitation or a strangling or a good old-fashioned bludgeoning with a hammer. It was a good compromise by simply punching the arachnid to death. I might have to deduct some points due to the fact that the Green Goblin already roughed him up a bit before the punches, but it was still effective nonetheless, because he did the finishing move every Kingpin needs to know by using your bare hands. And so I fully support this new Kingpin with my blessings. But enough about this computer-generated imagery. It's time to get back to the flesh and bone Kingpin. Me and all of my future endeavors. Are you sure about that? We've got some bad news.